Pat Mayo Experience Farmers Insurance Open, aka the return of Tiger Woods. Picks, preview, we'll be breaking down the course, we'll be breaking down the stats, some of our favorite plays of the week. I'm here with Geoff Fienberg, and the difference between a winning week at the Careerbuilder was 2 spots for me. Had Scott Piercy come inside the top 5 instead of T6, and Johnny Vegas had come inside the top 10 instead of T11, it would have been a winning week. Instead, big losing week. It sucks.
You got to pick yourself up, Pat. Big week, Torrey Pines, San Diego, Tiger's back. This is sort of feels like...
Tiger may be back, but this is a home course for Phil. It's one of the 8 places he calls home, and therefore counts it as a home event for him.
I got like chills looking at the odds board, and it wasn't even Tiger. Like a lot of guys like kind of popped for me instantly. It's an exciting field with some elite players and some exciting young players. I don't even know Phil's numbers. My eyes don't even see them. I looked right through them.
Well, fun.
Right through them.
It's his 29th career start at this event. He's never won, so that's something. So probably not the best time to jump on Phil, considering he hasn't won since Tiger last won. So, I mean, whatever his odds are, they're going to be bad relative to what they actually should be. But I do want to talk about Careerbuilder just for 1 second. Were you impressed with Rahm? Because I thought it might be a look-ahead spot for him. He came from the pack, came back from a stroke down, going to the final round. He ended up going to the playoff with Andrew Landry. You know, I had Chappell in the mix. I thought he was going to make a run. I thought Vegas was going to make a run at some point. I thought Piercy was winning, like at the turn, and then whoo.
Ugly 3-putt. No?
Chappell had an ugly 3-putt. But he was so far deep into it, he really needed to go. He needed to
finish real strong because he got out early.
He needed to have the finish that like Johnny Question Marks had though.
A lot of guys played well. Rahm sort of had that hot fire start and a good second round, and I mean I kind of put on Twitter yesterday, like it was no secret. All golf fans know Rahm, his big win at Torrey Pines from the pack. Maybe there was one in Europe, a weak field at the Irish Open where he might have been tied with a couple chumps going in the final round.
I feel like he was way out in front of that one after 3.
Either way, we were all waiting for that like contention win. So I expected it, and I expected the last 2 hours of yesterday to be, like his world ranking, to respect his world ranking. And there were a few holes. It took him a while to make the putt that he finally made. He won in contention. We're going to give him that. Last year was a year filled with contending, but not winning so many times. All those T10s, even the top 5s. But I'm going to say this because it's impossible. Like to pick holes in Jon Rahm is very hard.
Oh, I agree.
Now you're asking me to pick one. I'm going to say, even how he took him that long to outduel Landry, didn't make the putt on the original 18, had a shorter one on the shorter playoffs. I don't want to take anything away from Andrew Landry either. He played really well. Fantastic. And like I said, we're doing the show. We got to look at the good. We got to look at the bad. Sometimes you got to like find ways to like pick a hole. I worry, like say we're at the Masters or the U.S. Open, when the guy Rahm is with isn't Andrew Landry, that it's 2 of Rory or Dustin and Jordan and JT and Ricky and guys like that.
Tiger.
Tiger. Do you know what I mean? So, like, when it's not, he won in contention. So that was like half check mark. Now I want to see him selfishly win in contention versus an elite player that's also in his segment of world ranking. Is that unfair?
No. This is what we want to say. Like, put it this way. 12 months ago, Jon Rahm was, I don't even know what the hell he was ranked, 300 and something. He's now the number 2 player in the world.
12 months ago,
number 2 player in the world.
12 months ago, I looked right through his name at Torrey Pines thinking it's all about Phoenix because he played 16 in the A-State jersey like for all those years as an amateur. And he popped the week before. I was like almost a little bitter when he popped here last year.
Well, I don't want to spoil her. A quick tease for my picks later. There's a guy in the field this week that is Jon Rahm. That's not Jon Rahm. It's someone who's like Jon Rahm. And I'm not missing out this time around.
I agree. And I think I might be on him also. And you're absolutely right on that. And it's a big boy. You got to bring your big boy game, your big boy pants. This isn't Careerbuilder. Well, the winning score might, get up there, and there is an easy round on one of the courses. This is a major champion-ish
field. It's the next level down. It is.
Layout. No, not a field. Layout.
Both, though.
And it's a beautiful,
Have you been to Torrey Pines?
I have.
You like it?
It's just, it hits the heart.
All right, so there's 2 courses in play this week.
So people always kind of forget that because they think, oh, Torrey Pines, Tiger won in 2008 at the U.S. Open at the South Course, which was all at the South Course. For the farmers, it's split the first 2 days between the North Course and the South Course. I like to call the South Course the porn star course. It's long and hard. Not to say that the North one, is soft.
I played the North.
So you played the easier of the courses. So 2 years ago, there was renovation at the North Course. Now, the South Course is almost 7,700 yards. It's super long. The North Course isn't quite as daunting, but they switched. You have the kikuyu grass for the fairways and rough at both courses, but it's POA on the putting surfaces at the South Course. 2 years ago, it was switched to bent grass at the North Course, and I was reading some interviews with like Snedeker, who has a great track record here, and even Charles Howell III. Like, there is a big distinction between putting on bent grass and putting on POA. So you're going to see a few guys, and it's going to be impossible to tell who it's going to be, but no, some guys aren't going to adjust quick enough, and it's going to put them way behind the 8 ball. Shout out to Kenny Kim for this one. No winner since 1983 has shot over par at the North Course. Now, they're only getting one round at the North Course, but you got to make your hay there. You got to pile up birdies at the North Course. Set yourself a decent pace, because the South Course is one of the toughest tracks these guys play all year.
Kenny killed it. He also had a great stat about past winners here and how well they fared in previous appearances at Torrey Pines before winning.
Yeah, I think it was 7 of the past 9 have at least one top 10 finish. Obviously, Rahm did not, because I believe it was his first time playing in the course. And he did. Let's not forget that Rahm made that ridiculous eagle on 18. He did end up winning by 3, but at the time it was like, oh my god. It was
what was he back?
To enter the day, I think he was 2 back. Because Rose was right there, Day was right there, Snedeker was there, and it ended up being like Rahm, Finau came 4th, Brian Harman was in the mix.
Yeah.
Because so when we think about the skill sets here, like it's bombers for me, but that's not to say that the shorter hitters cannot compete, because Snedeker has an excellent track record here over the years, which is really surprising. Now, he did win that super wind year, but he's won before that as well, the year that Kyle Stanley absolutely melted down in the final round. Snedeker came from behind and ended up winning. So when I look at the key stats, what I'm really going for here is strokes gained ball striking, which is off the tee and approaches, but you need to have distance. You need to score on par 5s. You need to end up basically scoring on these long par 4s. Not necessarily score on the long par 4s, because between the two courses, there are 10 par 4s that measure between 450 and 500 yards. But you can't give away all your birdies from the par 5s on those. So the guys with the proximity, that is, they're gaining strokes on the field from like 175 and out, 200 and out. Those long iron players are, plus distance is really what I'm targeting here. Again, it's not to say that Brian Harman's not going to compete. He's played well here in the past. But that's going to rely on short game, wedges, and putting, and those things aren't as predictable week to week to week as hitting the ball 330 yards off the tee.
And this is also a course that's unlike the Sony and unlike pretty much any of our Careerbuilder layouts.
Yes.
This is you mentioned the type of profile. It hosts U.S. Open. We'd like to talk about when we get to U.S. Opens.
The winning score is not going to be minus 30.
No, but when we get to U.S. Opens, there's a type of profile that we're usually looking for. And
weirdly, Snedeker's one of those guys. It's like Furyk for all those years.
Snedeker can somehow overcome anything.
It's weird. And we'll talk about Brandt a little bit later on.
He's all you.
He is all me. I'm blindly betting Brandt just to see if he can qualify for the Masters. Especially at a track he's won twice, and no one's given him any shot. Although he did. Well,
this was the crazy one, wasn't it?
This was the wind one.
Monday finish, stupid win.
But he finished on Sunday. He was out so early on Sunday. He finished Sunday.
We had Jimmy Walker, I think.
We did
that day. We were watching that together, yeah.
So that was the day that Scott Brown entered the final round tied for the lead, and the wind was so bad he shot an 87 in the final round.
Wasn't it KJ Choi or something?
KJ Choi was there too. Yeah, he's won this event before. But again, those are the sorts of shorter accuracy, long iron players with good putting and short game that can contend. I always just feel like everything has to go right for those guys in order to win. Like, they have to have almost a flawless week. Where if you're Tony Finau, or you're John Rahm, or you're Dustin Johnson, who's not in the field, but like Hideki, like, you can have missteps along the way because you can get it back on some of these longer holes that these guys just can't score on.
Yep.
Like, they're playing for par, and you can theoretically make bogey on or birdie on them, and the par 5s need to be layups for you. So that's what I'm really looking at. I did go back and check it out. 8 of the past 12 winners of this event have finished inside the top 25 in driving distance at the year's end. So
U.S. Open track, U.S. Open players, poor man's Dustin Johnson profiles.
Wow, I got a few of those on the card.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I guess just quick news and notes. Brooks gone.
Brooks gone for 2.5 months. Yeah.
Masters maybe. And a little maybe important house cleaning is Fleetwood announces full PGA Tour card Genesis through May. And then he'll reevaluate.
So he's going to play the Genesis.
And the Florida events where he popped last year. WGCs.
Yeah, so he's going to have 2 WGCs. He'll have the match play
in Mexico.
He'll play the Genesis. I assume
Florida.
I don't know if he'll play Honda, but he played Bay Hill last year.
Well, if he's playing Genesis, he probably won't play
Pebble.
Honda. Isn't it the week
Yeah,
after?
he probably won't play Honda. He'll probably play Bay Hill and do like the 3 weeks in a row WGC. Maybe you see him in Texas for one of those events. Either Valero or Shell.
But
Masters.
He's coming here getting ready.
So he's probably staying until the Players, then leaving.
And I mean, we'll get to it, but the Masters odds that a lot of us, pretty much the entire community touted.
I actually didn't bet it.
Pretty much the entire community touted to everybody do it. They're crumbling.
Yeah, it's down to like 40-1 from like
30,
80-1.
even 3, I guess, on the peak of winning.
Now, yeah, if he doesn't outlast Dustin Johnson and Rory over in the desert.
And when he shows up at like Genesis and doesn't play well, like in LA, because he went out for some nice dinners or something, and whatever. But that crashed, and
his odds are following the Thomas Peters form from last year.
Sure, or Noren, but he's got more.
Noren's here this week.
Do I know Noren's here?
So is Julian Siri. Everyone,
I'm excited. Brooks 2.0, European guy with that sort of awesome long ball, a young American. I'm not betting him, but I like the game.
The entire DraftKings Euro Tour community is very excited for Siri.
They should
to be here.
Again, he brings that sort of poor man's game skill set that we talk about.
But this way, he's so unknown, and this is really the big difference between like the casual golf community and those who really focus on DraftKings golf and betting on golf. When I looked on Bodog, Bet365, and Sportsbook, couldn't find odds on him. So
that's pretty wild. Yeah.
He'll eventually get into the system, but you might get. I don't even know what he'll come in at. Maybe they've missed the boat on. You're not going to get a random like 300-1 on him. Maybe they just price him at 80-1.
Well, when like 80 people send an email to the server about the one guy, they're like, "Crap, we're going to get hit on this." So yeah, you just wish they plopped him in there.
Let's talk Tiger. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So I wrote about Tiger up on DKPlaybook.com. You can go find that up there right now. And I talked about...
I'm not ready.
What is considered a win for Tiger this week? Obviously, and for the tour in general. I wrote that Tiger winning this event wouldn't be a win for the PGA Tour. It would be winning the Powerball for the tour if somehow Tiger was able to win this week. And Tiger comes in at 25-1, which is ludicrous.
I've even seen it like a 22.
Don't play that. Don't bet him. Don't play him on DraftKings at 9.7K. Like he's ridiculously overpriced. He has won 8 times at this course. One of those being a U.S. Open on one knee. And I'm excited to watch him play. But I think there are 2 things that qualify for a win for Tiger this week. For him personally, and for the tour, and everyone else who plays on the tour who stands to benefit from making all this money. Make the cut, and don't grip your back once. I can't.
What are you more?
I can't handle it. Like it's gone from what's the iconic Tiger image in your head? It's the fist pump, right?
Oh,
it's the Tiger fist pump. That's slowly being replaced every time we see him come back with the.
I'm pretty sure, Pat.
I can only see that so many times where I just give up all hope.
I think like 2 comebacks ago, right here at Torrey Pines, me and you pounded like a Woodland head-to-head.
We did.
And
I believe that was last year.
No, it was
2 years ago.
We were together.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And he was gone in the first round. And it was bad. Maybe he shouldn't have been there. But you're absolutely right. This isn't the Bahamas. This isn't a hit and giggle. He's very familiar with it. There's rough here. And last time he came here and got hurt, in his like Wednesday presser or Tuesday presser, he made mention that this is rough. He hasn't played in like 2-3 years, or I don't want to say 2-3 years, but since his layoff. He seems healthy. He seems ready. I just want a cut. I just want a cut. Him playing on the weekend. There's no football. All he's got to go against is the Royal Rumble. And I'll tell you what, his odds dropped since the Bahamas. The only thing comparable in sports, other than him and Fleetwood's master odds, is apparently Daniel Bryant went from 50-1 to 4-1 to win the Royal Rumble.
Now, spoilers must have leaked.
Well, he hasn't wrestled since he's been out with concussions. He's been like fighting behind the scenes to get a release on wrestling. I didn't mean to go here, but just talking about odds crashing, it just reminded me of them seeing Brian's Rumble odds crash or Tiger Master odds crash post Bahamas. This is the real test, though. Bahamas was nice, but imagine he brings that swing speed from Bahamas to Torrey, and we're in the fairway. Or when we're in the rough from 180, we got a 26-foot putt for birdie or something. Like, wouldn't that be awesome? Up and down from greenside rough. There were tight lies in Bahamas. There was no, like, greenside hosels.
And once you start venturing off the fairway here, you might have a...
There's doubles and triples, not the bogeys.
Yes.
Yeah. There are huge numbers that can happen here that weren't really possible in Bahamas unless you were Brooks playing with half a wrist. Or maybe that was even tournament, whatever, mixing that up. So I just want to see it all. Great sand, just great up and downs for par, hitting it a little wide and saving par. But if the swing speed's up and he's hitting greens and reg, the numbers are going to drop again.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even have to play well in order for if he makes the cut and like looks capable. And I think that's what people want to see from him right now is there going to be a point this season that, let's say Tiger plays reasonably well, and he stays healthy. Is there going to be a St. Jude Classic where Tiger can show up and potentially contend to win?
Yeah, and this is the question.
Or at the Masters, based on his experience there, is it possible that he stays healthy, his game is close enough?
How many times is he playing before the Masters? Because I got 4 tops.
Okay, I mean, when we tried to guess the schedule in our first one, I said this would be the first one he would play.
Yeah, and then Genesis was a bit of a surprise.
Oh, is he playing Genesis?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
He'll play Bay Hill.
Yes, and I'm surprised Genesis over Honda, being a Palm Beach Gardens sort of backyard.
I don't think the Honda Classic is a course.
Okay, fine.
I don't think PGA Nationals, where if you're Tiger right now, that you want to show up. And
okay, 100% Bay Hill. So that's 3, and then maybe he weasels in something we don't suspect, or a WGC.
Well,
but
if you're
Tiger Woods, you don't want to play match play.
Why not?
That's a lot of golf.
You're the king of match play.
But it's a lot of the pod system into 2-a-days.
Sure, it's not the ideal format for him. But if I'm the WGC committee, I'm like, hey Tiger, here's a free entry.
Okay, so
here's
maybe send him to Mexico, where hopefully he doesn't get the shits.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to go to Mexico.
That's what I mean. So the match play isn't ideal for the health, I would think.
Sure. I mean, I can agree with that.
Assuming like he wins match play.
What do you mean?
Oh no! Assuming that he
makes it out of the pod stage.
Yeah, like once you're out of there, and then that's a lot of golf you got to play. You know, that's all I'm saying. Even though him going to match play would be, oh my god, that pod. So I got 3, and then I'm expecting maybe he weasels something in that we don't expect, but St. Jude's is after, but something of that sort.
Yeah, like
but he's not going to Copper. He's not going to the Snake Pit in Tampa.
No, he's definitely not going. He's not going to Valspar.
So I don't know where the number 4 comes from.
Maybe it's like Shell. Maybe he plays one of the 2 Texas tournaments just to stay fresh before the Masters.
Yeah.
That's what Phil always does. Phil always plays the week before.
Is Phil the pillar of copying?
I mean, for an old man to like get your reps in.
Fair.
Like, don't stress out about it too much.
Okay.
Go out and hit your shots you need to hit.
We're here and we've spoken about the number.
There's like odds to make the cut. It's like minus 150 to miss the cut, like plus 140 to make it.
Okay. Him just making the cut and maybe someone, I don't want to like diss anyone's bet, but like him, you know, being with a great player on the weekend, I'm looking forward to that. That's what I missed. And I've said this on every preview show, even through his injuries. The one thing that I feel I miss or we miss is him not getting to be playing with this new generation of American golfer. And whether that's him, you know, tied for 40th with Fowler on the weekend, or it's him tied for like 25th with
Cantlay.
Like Cantlay or an Ollie Schneider-Jans.
Or Finau.
To me, that's still cool. And I think to people watching this show, that's cool. I mean, him to go out, this is the other part of it. Are we afraid of who he's playing with? When you see his draw.
Do we know who he's playing with?
I don't know. I don't think we know at this moment. I think he's got to be with Rahm. Defending champ, the guy won last week. Is that like almost Rahm is in a fade position? Are there groups? People even mention like the people out in the groups bordering Tiger are in bad spots.
They'll stack them all together. Remember at this tournament last year, it was him, DJ, and Day all played together for the first 2 rounds.
Fowler and Phil played together?
With Hideki, I think. But the PGA was so fired up to have Tiger back, they live streamed like the first 10 holes on Twitter that you could watch it.
Awesome.
So I think that's going to be important for, like, Rahm won last year. at this event after Tiger, Dustin, Day had all missed the cut and gone home. And no one really watched it.
Yes.
That's why having Tiger there on the weekend, you need him to make the other stars for you.
Rahm also won here last year when, like, the guy, even the locker room attendant, might not have known who he was.
Yeah.
You know,
people still don't know who Jon Rahm is, though.
Yes, I'll say that. But Torrey Pines, I think you would agree, is once we're out of majors and WGCs, it's at least like it's on the short list of the next like 3-4 like big tournaments.
Oh no, I agree, and I think this is the official kickoff to the for the 100%. PGA season for the casual.
We're not
viewer.
playing munis anymore.
No. But, like, no football, like you mentioned. The NBA is just kind of gearing up for All-Star Weekend. That's a big event. Hockey's hockey, and no one gives a shit
There's a Pro Bowl and an NHL All-Star game. I'm just saying what's out there.
So double no care for anyone.
I just told you, baby. Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, sure. I don't think...
I'm joking.
I don't know what the intersection of wrestling fans and golf fans is. I don't imagine.
We're very small.
It's too high.
No.
And even for college basketball, we're far enough away from the tournament that people like me who will start getting into college basketball, I'm still like a month away from that.
This is
it. This is golf spotlight. You have Tiger back. You have the big names in the field. People know this course. Just get them through to the weekend, and it's money for everybody. It's money for the tour. It's money for the other players.
The weekend.
Yeah. I want him to, so I'm not betting that one either way.
I'm not saying no, and I'm not betting, yeah.
The head-to-heads haven't come out yet. Who do you think that we're going to get? By the odds, it should be Jason Day versus Tiger Woods.
They're not that stupid.
Yeah, they're not going to give us that.
So it could be those guys in that 30 range, but I would still take like a Finau.
Finau, Tiger.
I would still bite the bullet. I don't want to cheer against Tiger, but I'm so high on Finau that
we did it with Woodland, and it worked.
But that was under, like, we knew Tiger was rushing something. We knew it wasn't right. There was something that reeked that time that doesn't reek this time.
Sure.
There was like a sense, we were sitting at the table, not excited because we loved him. We're like, we're going to pick on him. I'm in no position. I'm not coming to this time being like, I want to pick on him.
Unless they give us Leishman versus Tiger.
They won't.
No, they won't, but that's him in the same odds range, which you can outright bet on. Leishman, Day, Harmon, they're all in that same area.
You get like a Bud Cauley versus Tiger. And people don't even know who Bud Cauley is, so they might pound that.
Maybe. And it's probably going to be like Bud Cauley minus 130, Tiger plus 120, 110. You get plus money to bet Tiger versus Bud Cauley. I don't even know who this guy is. Yeah. Perfect. We'll see. We'll see when those odds come out. You can always follow. I'll have the cheat sheet up on facebook.com/thepme on Wednesday morning is usually when I put it up. I'll post some head-to-heads, top 10s in there. I've been doing well with the head-to-heads not as good last week as I did 2 weeks ago. But I think I was 5-3 last week, head-to-head. Or no, sorry, 5-2-1, 5-3-1, one of those things. Stupid Hadwood made a charge at the end to beat Grayson. Didn't like that one bit.
I was on Canadian radio last week and asked about Haddon. I'm like, game looks like a mess.
Apparently he just likes Careerbuilder.
Yeah,
it's a track for him.
Horse course, I don't know. Good for him.
Yeah. I would like to see him get his game back around. We can bet him at Bay Hill and Valspar again. Yeah. Everything will be fine. Let's get into this field for real, though. Jon Rahm, the defending champion, coming off a win at Careerbuilder, is the favorite 8-1 in this field. He's the highest ranked player in the field, so I can't really take that away from him.
His number is shorter on a harder course with a harder field.
Yes.
In a bad spot, potentially, if he's grouped with Tiger. I'm not saying he can't excel.
Sure. So the top in terms of odds, you got Rahm at 8, Fowler at 12, Hideki at 14, Rose at 16. Day's down to 18. He opened a bit higher, and you can still. I would recommend
some 22s.
I would recommend site shopping between a lot of these top guys because some books are not giving Day any credit. This opened at 22 on my site. It's already down to 18. People are savvy on that. Leishman is 22. Tiger's 25. Harmon is 28-1. That's everyone from 8-1 to 30-1.
So you're gonna get like Tiger versus Harmon, and I don't want to play.
I don't want to play that.
I don't want to play that.
I think Harmon was T2 here last year. There were T9 or something. Putting the lights out. He's an interesting one and done spot too because no one's gonna take him this time around.
Rahm, interesting time for him, right? We got Phoenix next week. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say he can't win. I'd be pretty surprised though. I think a little bit.
I wouldn't.
A little bit, especially if he's grouped with Tiger. That will be so impressive to me.
But maybe it's one of those deals where he doesn't get rattled by the pressure of Tiger. Maybe
not.
He ups his game and everyone's like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Or he's like on cloud 9 because he's like 3 under and Tiger's like 2 over and he's kicking Tiger's ass.
I hate Fowler's odds, but I do like Ricky this week. He's missed 3 of his past 4 cuts at this event, but he didn't play in Abu Dhabi this year.
Oh, okay, yeah, you took my bit. All those years, man. He goes to Abu Dhabi and then he comes here. Not anymore. Part of the preview show. It's all Ricky all year. This shows a seriousness about what needs to happen on the PGA Tour. Didn't take the cash.
Who's your favorite from this top level?
Ricky Fowler.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's not who I was going with.
Well, the other guy to me is in a bit of a different level. I like in terms of line value, to me, it's Jason Day.
Yeah, Jason Day is. Yeah. Okay, Day hasn't played since like the Australian PGA Championship when he gagged it
and
to
he looked,
either Cam Smith or the other Cam guy, who I can't remember his name.
No, it wasn't Cam Smith.
There was 2 Cams who won back-to-back weeks in Australia, both Australians.
Cam Smith won something else. Jason Day lost to a guy that like
his name was Cameron something.
It was.
I don't know what it was.
It kind of really caught me off guard.
Anyway. He's either 22-1 or 18-1. He's a former winner of this event. He has looked out of sorts. But
he also looked.
This is when the time to, like, if you believe in Jason Day, and if you look at his odds for like the Masters or the U.S. Open, he's still like 12-1, 14-1. You're getting deeper odds in a weaker field. Of course, he's already won at before here. Like that makes logical sense to me. Although Rose at 16 is just sitting there. Sitting there.
Just not for me.
Oh, 6 weeks ago, Rose was everyone's pick to win the Masters. Now no one gives a shit about Justin Rose.
No, I'm still seeing a lot of that. It's just not for me. He's playing great, and he looks like he's ready to take on this young generation of players and win again because at least he has a lot in Europe. Day for me. I'm in on the 22. And they're still out there.
I haven't decided on that. On Bodog, they have 22. It's 18 on 365 right now. Didn't look at Pinnacle or Will Hill or Sportsbook or any of those ones yet, but I will because I haven't locked in too much yet. But I do want to play one of these guys. Hideki, any interest? I don't love him here.
He's going to pop the week before Phoenix? Seems
Maybe.
a little silly.
I will say for one and done strategy, I actually did this last year because we obviously didn't talk about it, but I used Hideki here and I used Rahm. I saved him for Phoenix and I should have just flipped those because I got them wrong the week before, week after. But everyone will be saving Hideki for next week in Phoenix, which is a very smart move. But if you want to get him
at low... He's also going to be 8-1 next week.
But yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of one and done. So if 60% of people are using Hideki and you're comfortable with fading him, using him in this spot where no one's using him might be a way to get access to an elite player who no one's going to use.
And I was based on a strategy we talked about, I think in one of the first shows.
Where we said Dustin, then didn't use Dustin.
Although last week it might have been Patrick Reed, and good thing we didn't.
Yeah.
Like, just that forgotten elite strategy. Like, for one and done, take the elite. In the shower this morning.
I did it with Chappell last week.
In the shower this morning, just thinking of the field, it was Jason Day. Log on Twitter, and now you see even an odds drop, it seems like a lot of people are like not being. Now, this isn't one and done, but it doesn't seem like Day's the secret. I thought maybe at like 8:30 this morning he might have been.
Is Leishman a play here?
Sneaky.
Is Leishman a better bet than Day? I guess
he's the best. He's ranked higher. I think he's the highest ranked Australian in the world.
He's top 10s at this event in the past.
Been playing strong. We liked him at the Sony, I believe. He made a betting card. I would feel really stupid.
He did not make mine for that one.
Yeah, he was up near the top.
Yeah.
I'll feel really dumb when Leishman wins and I bet Jason Day.
Yeah.
Like, that will be a really, like, everything, you're just saying everything your eyeballs have seen for the last, like, half year plus was a lie, but I don't know. I'm dumb enough to, I guess, do it. And one thing about Day, and I don't throw any stones, especially in this field, at least in the Australian shots, look a little heavy.
Yeah, it looks like he stopped working out.
Look a little heavy, so we'll see.
Yeah, maybe the vertigo was catching back up to him again.
There are going to be some great groups this week.
Listen, this is the first one I'm
some
super
great,
pumped
like,
for.
Groups. I wonder who's taking Phil's money tomorrow, or like on the Tuesday.
Now he's probably paired himself up with Ricky, and they'll go take some.
No, I bet you money. His joke is I think like he makes sure he's got Rahm.
He gets Rahm, and they'll play against Ben Crane, and Ben Crane won't pay.
I take this back. Rahm, this is a good note for the future also. Rahm hates playing with Phil. Phil's like slow and methodical and like boring. He can't.
Oh yeah, playing a cash game against Phil. Oh, it's a free drop for Phil, isn't it, Johnny? No, Phil, it's not. Oh, I don't know about that. Let's get a rules official. You have Bones like walking around, like,
Bones has been outstanding.
You like Bones?
Bones better than
Bones or Romo?
I was gonna ask Bones. Bones outdoing Romo because Romo's got like He's been great, but he's also like been really bad to me in some spots. Bones to me just wins.
Also, we get more of Romo.
Of course.
They can limit the Bones exposure that we all get.
Sure. Is this CBS this week?
Yes.
Wouldn't be shocked if Romo starts doing some golf with
Why
him.
not?
They were so happy when the Patriots won.
Of course.
At least Nance was.
Yeah, Nance was. So was the ref.
You could hear it.
All right, so the rest of this field, I don't want to spend the entire time talking about guys that
everyone knows about.
And guys that I'm probably not going to bet anyway. I'm going to make a decision later in the week on probably one of these top guys. I said I was going to do it with Kisner 2 weeks ago. Didn't end up pulling the trigger. Felt very good about that. So we'll see. This next level is
hockey touts to hook me something to give Ricky with, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with it for this one. 12-1's a fine number.
Good point.
Finau leads off the rest of them. So Finau, T4 here last year, 3 of 3 cuts made. He is 35-1. Cantlay opened at 40, down to 35. We got Colley, Woodland, and Snedeker at 40. Reed, Mickelson, Cam Smith at 45. Steele, Howe, Lowry, Ollie at 50. And then it's Molinari at 55. I got some hot takes here. I really want to bet Finau, but I've been betting him 35-1 in fields of far lesser quality than this. Although he does kind of rate out, but I'm taking Patrick Cantlay. I'm not being the guy that misses this again.
I'm on Patrick Cantlay. Finau, that's a good point. He's a question mark for me. He's a guy with a star behind his name, but with a bet for me, it's Patrick Cantlay, and also someone you named here who I was so excited. I'm happy it was the 50 and not in the 30s.
Oh, Sugar Shane Lowry?
No.
Oh, screw you then. You can have all the Ollie you want. I'll give myself some Shane Lowry.
I will bet Ollie. I could get behind Shane Lowry, though. I could see that. This seems like the type U.S. Open type track that he'll plot along fine on, yeah.
Shane Lowry has the distance. He showed up. His win at Bridgestone came in a super high-end field. I worry that he hasn't played in 12 weeks or something like that.
No, I'll tell you what. He played I don't know what it was called this year. He played the Franklin Templeton.
Oh, did he?
With Graham McDowell. There's an Irish team.
Well, in his 4 last Euro events, he was 8th, 12th, 8th, 12th. He plays really well on these longer par 4s when you rate him out 450 to 500 yards. You know whose name shows up over the past 50 and 100 rounds? Boom! Shane Lowry. He's got the distance to play here. If it gets super windy, I like Shane Lowry in that spot more. He's not the greatest putter. We know that about Shane Lowry. However, with these POA greens, that can equalize some of the really crappy putters in this field. I think the win for Ollie will come at some point this year, but I don't think it comes here.
I know. Before you're talking about Cantlay, who had one, when you made mention to wanting to be on that guy and not missing here, I thought you were talking about Ollie.
No, this is a real win for Cantlay. This isn't a swing season event.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
He's in the same spot Rahm was basically in last year, despite the fact that he already has a win.
Yeah, and I got Ollie a couple, not too far below. I'm excited about Ollie. I think it sets up. I think we overrate wind, but I think he plays well.
Yeah, but we don't even know it's going to be windy or not.
This is the only question in terms of the betting of Ollie. And I really thought, before the board came out, that he could be in that 35-1 range.
I mean, Bud Colley should be the same odds as him. Bud Colley's overvalued. I like Colley, but having him ahead of Ollie is kind of crazy.
I'm also seeing some 50s in some shops still out there on Colley. But
yeah, the thing is, we can't talk about every odd from every different site. We have to kind of use one.
Yes, and so Ollie's number kind of still surprised me. I think, like I was saying, wind is kind of overrated, but I think his game will work here at Torrey Pines.
Here's the difference and why I won't be on him.
Did he withdraw with an injury last week?
No, I think he just pulled out. If you can give me Ollie at 50
or Lowry
or X at 80, I'll take Xander Schauffele, man.
You can take both.
Why? Why wouldn't I take the guy who has 2 wins? He made the club change. He was awful with his irons week 1 at the Tournament of Champions. At Sony, he was much better.
Great bet.
You know he's going to be striking it off the tee.
Great bet.
So that's one with the site shopping. You can find him at 80 if you want him. I like that number. I think that he's just being overlooked in this spot.
Well,
I took Lowry over Ollie anyway. Lowry's a better player.
But I'm more excited about Ollie.
Be excited all you want about Ollie. No hat. He can be like
the American. The list.
He's essentially the American Robert Rock.
There's rumors of him looking to get a hat.
DraftKings, jump on board.
It's
Sponsor
also
the man.
a step back for the High Crown that Rom wins after dumping the High Crown.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up.
Speaking of the High Crown, I did overlook, I mentioned this right off the top, there is one player that I will be betting, and I'll be waiting until this number drops to like 50, because it will. Snedeker.
Oh, can I break news?
Sure.
He's cuts this week.
Oh. Well, I don't like that one bit. He's Tim's pick?
Tim's pick.
Maybe I'll bet him top 10 or something. Well, I don't know.
Hey, Tim hasn't been... No one he's one and done is, like, contended, but they haven't died.
That's true.
They've all made cuts and survived.
Why can't he just take... Can we just allow him to take Phil every week in the one and done and just be on our way? That way none of us get affected.
Like you said, I hope he's saving Phil for the U.S. Open.
That would be insane. Actually, that would be his MO, but that would be so insane. It would be ridiculous. Well, Phil's due, so I better use him in the one and done. Let's not use him at St. Jude where he comes 5th every year.
Well, he'll make the most birdies at St. Jude. Just hope for,
he also made the most quads, probably.
Killer. And he feels pressure, remember. And with every week that goes by, there's probably just more pressure.
I'm going to wait for Sneds to drop, but...
Drop upon being cussed?
Well, yeah. Now that he's been Anderkirch, he'll go from like 40 to 60.
Really ugly pairing of Sneds and Reed last week. Ooh.
Well, Snedeker's been off for so long, and he actually, the one thing I did like about Snedeker is his final day at a scoring course at La Quinta. I think he was 6 under.
So did Reed.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell's going. Reed's in this field. I couldn't even find his odds.
50?
He's 45. No,
he's
thanks.
with Woodland?
No, thanks.
Would you rather Woodland?
No, but if the bet was who's coming inside the top 20, I'd probably take Gary Woodland. If the bet is who's going to win, the bet is always Patrick Reed. Because Gary Woodland doesn't win ever.
No. But again, his game kind of suits here.
All right, so let's pick and choose from the rest of these guys down the list here. So guys that are on my radar. Vegas is one of them. I'm going back to Vegas. He has a top 10. He has a T11 now for the season. He has 2 top 10s here in his career. He's sort of... Again, he's the poor man's Rom/DJ. He's going to bomb it. He's going to hit it with his irons, and he can't really putt. Maybe Poa helps him out here. Who knows? He's made 6 to 7 cuts lifetime. I just think his odds are too long. Like, if you can give me Johnny Vegas at 60 to 1 or Bud Cauley at 35, and just give me Johnny Vegas.
Vegas has been playing really well.
Yeah.
Again. Strong. Again.
So I
think people underrate, and I said it last week, underrate his ball striking. Like, he's known for a lot of things, but ball striking doesn't seem to be something people register, and he can be fabulous.
So I'm going to him. I'm going to X, Xander Schauffele. I just think he's undervalued. Even if you see him at 60 instead of 80, I still think the 60 is a fine number.
Even at 50? I don't see that 80. 365?
No, the 80 was on Bodog earlier.
It's gone. 50.
Down to 50
already.
All right, well, he's currently still 60 on Bet365, so
yeah.
I still like that number.
Can I give a guy in this range?
Sure.
Well, 2 maybe.
There's 3 I really want to focus on and talk about.
Is Noren one of them?
Yeah, Noren's one of them. So it's Noren, Hoffman, who now gets no respect all of a sudden, despite being fire for the last half year.
And?
Uline.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't this more of a Uline type track than the ones that he's been playing?
That he was like 30, like that he was shorter by at least 30 points?
Yeah.
On an odd?
Now, this is a much stronger field, but I feel like this course more or less sets up far better for his skill set than it does, the Sony or the Careerbuilder.
Yeah. Uline and Noren are both for me.
Noren hasn't played in a while.
He played in the Eurasia Cup.
Great.
Had a huge match against Nicholas Fung.
Oh, did he beat Nicholas Fung?
Crushed him out of the gate.
In your face, Nicholas Fung. Fung you.
I don't know how well he played overall. I know he won.
You know he beat Nicholas Fung.
I know he won. It was the first match out on the singles with them behind. It was a big match. I focused on it. He was up like 4 out of the gate.
Noren's still one of the top, he's still ranked inside the top 20 in the world. He's 66 to 1 and Bud Cauley's 35. I hate picking on Bud Cauley because I like Bud Cauley, but
his numbers...
His numbers ridiculous compared to Noren's.
But why is his number like this if we acknowledge, if the line was posted versus Tiger, people wouldn't even know him?
Because I think that people that actually bet on golf are the types of people that would bet on Bud Cauley. It's like Ollie, man. Like, people just want to be there when he breaks through. It was like everyone who pumped money into Patrick Cantlay over the course of most of last season, where the win came in the swing season. Now I think he's ready to take the leap. Also, fun fact, when they redesigned the North course, they got rid of some of the bunkers.
Yeah.
Great news for Patrick Cantlay.
Noren, well, pretty much that entire very good high-end European team that included Fleetwood from the Eurasia Cup went to play in Abu Dhabi. He didn't.
No, he's over here now.
So he's maybe focused on a bigger North American season. It's a big number for a player of his skill set. I don't like to correlate odds to world rankings because I know those can be funky.
But he seems supremely undervalued.
Supremely
compared to his world
undervalued
ranking.
Compared to his world ranking, his skill set, his moxie.
I feel like Scheifele's the same way. He's undervalued.
Great point.
For a guy who's won twice in the past 6 months?
Yeah, and to my like of Uline, the field is harder. This is more of a Uline event, and it's a better number. And this is, when talked about, when he made the exciting list, like, part of it, like, I believe these are the types of events he can compete in. Well, I think some of those Florida courses might suit him better. This is one I really like for him.
See if they put Surrey on here yet. They have not. I was hoping they would do that eventually. They have Strev on there. Who else do you want to talk about from here? Like,
well, I know your guy. I know you. This is the first time I knew who he was last year.
JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn's at 90. Siwoo's at 100. Those are just
100 for Siwoo. It's a system bet. Yeah, it's not a golf bet. It's a system wager.
Yes.
I'm not expecting it, but it's funny that he's actually been playing decent, and his number.
You know what he's doing? Gaining strokes off the tee, and that's what you need to do here.
And maybe the putting you said.
The putting has gone away, and the short game has been kind of gone, which used to be sort of like, I think it was like 22 consecutive events he gained strokes around the green. Now he's like hit and miss week to week, which really speaks to Siwoo Kim, but he's an auto bet every week. Just I'm betting him.
Yeah, new line. I don't know.
I don't expect much from Siwoo this week, but he's gonna get the bet.
I didn't have a bet. Sorry if someone had money on him. I was really hoping Austin Cook wasn't gonna lock up Rookie of the Year yesterday.
Already?
Also, yeah.
I like Austin Cook.
You do.
Charlie Hoffman, though, is one I did want to talk about. 66. Why no respect? Is it the course history that he just hasn't played well here over the years? But I don't know.
It's a high number. Kind of put him in people would argue it's a better play than Noren.
What if you got a head-to-head Tiger versus Charlie Hoffman? Wouldn't you just take Charlie Hoffman?
That's an excellent point. You probably would.
I mean, the last time we saw Charlie Hoffman, he was winning the Hero until Ricky went bonkers.
I don't want to make this about comparing guys to Tiger, because we acknowledge, if you, what is Tiger's real odd to you? What should Tiger's real odd to be?
125 to 1.
Crazy, right?
That's
I was going to say 70, but I thought I was maybe being nice. You're real.
But I feel like most of these odds are not what they should be. Like, Fowler shouldn't be 12 to 1 to win this tournament. He probably should be like 20. If we're talking about real odds to win the tournament, he's probably 22 to 30 to 1.
He's
just
the best.
No one in this field is 8 to 1 to win by probability. 8 to 1 is what Tiger should have been when he was 2000 Tiger. Although you were getting minus 150 for him to win. The odds are never going to correlate to what it is. But that's why I like the Fantasy National system. When they run the simulator, they actually give you what the odds should be versus what the odds are. So what the simulation, when you go into the beta simulator, it's already run for this week too, for the tournament. I'll bring it up right now. I'm not going to give it all away because I want everyone to become a member at fantasynational.com, which everyone can just do by going to fantasynational.com. But when you open up the simulator, it'll give you the number of wins. When it runs it 1,000 times, here's how many times out of 1,000 these guys win. And when you bring up this one, and I'll give up the top one, Rahm is the favorite to win in terms of the simulator, just like he was last week. So, actually, no, that is untrue. Jason Day is the simulator favorite to win. It says the simulator odds. Now, obviously, this is taking more.
Maybe Bet365 played your simulator.
Well, the market odds for him are 18 to 1. The simulator odds for him to win are 10.5 to 1. Those are the best odds of anyone in the field. Rahm is 8 to 1 to win the tournament. He's 17 to 1 by the simulator odds. Now, the simulator odds, as it says on the page, this isn't gospel, but it's just giving you a different set of eyes to look at it. Based on the length of the holes at each course, historically speaking, who does well on these types of holes? And those are the guys. Fowler is up there, Rose is up there, Hideki's up there, Sneds is up there, Grillo is up there, by the way.
You do anything for you? I don't.
Griot and Lovemark are two that the simulator likes. So is Steven Yagabombs.
Yeah, Lovemark was one that kind of caught my eye. He's in that 100 to 1 range. But going shorter, guys I'm not betting, we kind of wanted to throw at you.
JB Holmes loves this event.
He was one of them.
I don't know where he's at right now.
JB Holmes, Grayson Murray, and Brendan Steele.
Well, Steele's like 50 to 1, so no.
I'd rather take higher.
I'd rather take Grayson at 100 than Steele at 50. I think Grayson is sort of the prototype of the guy that wins. He has not been playing par 5s well, though. If he's not playing you need to make birdies on par 5s here. You have to. Because there's too many places to give those strokes back that you need them to kind of pad up.
Lovemark and Grillo sitting at 100 to 1 could be enticing.
Like, would you go deeper? Would you say, you know what, screw it, I'll take Patrick Rogers. He was winning here last year until Rahm stormed past him. Bo Hostler, another California guy. Aaron Wise.
People are going to be on Bo this week.
But would you rather take Bo or Aaron Wise? I think I'd rather go Aaron Wise.
I think. What about Hadley? I know I talked to him.
I don't mind Chesson here. I think it's a nice rebound spot for Chesson, but I think I would rather, as weird as this sounds, I don't know if I want to bet him outright, but I'll be definitely looking at like a top 10 or a top 20 DraftKings for sure. Mr. Steroids, former winner of this event, former playoff loser of this event, Scott Stallings. I know he kind of sucks, but his ball striking is still pretty top-notch. He just can't putt, but he knows the greens here. So I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah. You don't like Scott Stallings at all?
What's his number?
175. But I'm not talking about him as a win. Top 20, top 10, that sort of thing.
Maybe. Patrick Rogers.
I'm off Rogers, man.
Catches me. What about Flores?
Party Marty?
Yeah, for a place like this.
He popped up... He kept popping up in my custom model. He's just a name. His ball striking has been so off the charts. I don't know if I love it or not. He's 250 to 1, though. Jimmy Walker, can I interest you?
No.
Andrew Landry, coming off the hot week, has a playoff devastation. He sets up really well for this course. We've seen him play well at a U.S. Open before.
Nope.
100 right now.
Nope.
I think I would take Bryson is also 100. I think I would go with Landry over taking like Hostler or Wise. Another guy who played well last weekend was Brandon Harkins. He's 125. He crushes par 5s, man. I was digging a little bit deeper into what his numbers say, and I was pleasantly surprised. Harkins. Bryson? Yeah? Yeah.
He was overseas last week. I don't even think did he even make the cut?
I don't know. I saw him play in Abu Dhabi, so that would just basically cross him off to begin with for me, but I thought it was interesting. Stu Sink, just bet him top 20 every week.
His results always impress me. I know we mentioned him in the range. Do you have any love for Molinari?
He falls into that category of, he never wins, so that's tough. But he's such a short hitter. Like, again, he's almost like Snedeker and KJ Choi. He would have to be lumped into those types of guys that they have to overcome so much at least on the South course, giving up so much in terms of distance that they have to play lights out. And what happens if Molinari just has an average Molinari putting week? Then he's not going to win. I get it, but no. Not with the other guys around there. 8th at Career Builder for Harkins.
Uline, I keep coming back to Uline.
I like Uline. I'm in. I got to find another guy, though. And I'll figure that out later in the week.
Maybe just save it, because it's going to come from the top.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it will. So let's get into our picks for the week.
Do we do one and done first?
No, we do one and done after. Like
you beat me again. But I don't know. This game's a lot different.
Sure, but I'm not making up a ton of cash. I actually have used my pick, I think, each week in the one and done anyway. But picks for the week for me for Farmers Insurance Open. Again, I'll be releasing the cheat sheet for my picks up on Facebook.com/thepme. You can find it in my articles up on DK Playbook as well, at least the link where you can find it. It's on Twitter. People keep asking me, although I tweeted out like legitimately 30 times, like, but I don't even see it. So those people probably have me muted and don't see it, but they still want my picks anyway. Although, if it was last week, they were a bunch of losing picks. So outrights for me, Cantlay, 35. Xander, 80. Spawn and Siwoo, auto bets at this point, 90 and 100. Lowry at 50. Vegas at 60. I'm going to wait for Snedeker's number to drop down, and then I will make my decision later in the week on which of these top guys to bet. But I'm leaning either Finau or Day is where I'm leaning. But I can be talked into Rose. If Rose gets no love throughout the course of the week and his number falls back a little bit, it might be him, could be Leishman.
I can't get off Finau.
Okay.
In the end. So I'm going to bet Finau. I'm going to bet Cantley. I'm going to bet Ollie. I'm going to bet Vegas, Noren, and Uline.
Did I say Uline? I meant to say Uline.
And I'm still might try to do something at the top exotically. Because the year of Ricky starts on Thursday. And he's a San Diego boy, and we didn't go to Abu Dhabi. I mean it. It is all business.
And back to that stat about the top 10s of this course, like he made his first 5 cuts at this event. He just happened to miss 3 of his last 4.
Well, when he went to Abu Dhabi.
Well, the last 2 years he did that. But before, the Farmers happened after Phoenix.
And I feel like he won Abu Dhabi 2 or 3 years.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So, yeah, it's not like it wasn't a thing. And he always comes back because Torrey's a big event.
And then he goes and dominates in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Party time with Ricky.
Another thing, yeah. I don't want him to, yeah. He always plays well there.
So does Hideki. One and done selections of the week. I had Kevin Chappell last week. He was T6. Really wish he would have won the tournament. But, alas, he did not. I'm really kind of torn on who I should use here. I feel like I should use... I don't think this is a week to go down the list. I think you do want to take one of the top-end guys. We've seen, listen, Tiger's won here 8 times. Day's won here in the past. Bubba's won here in the past. Like, the Scott Stallings of the world happen far more infrequently than a top-end winner. We got Rahm last year. I'm actually going to use Patrick Cantlay as my one and done.
I was thinking about that long and hard. For the purposes of our game...
That might be a stupid pick, though, because he probably plays Valspar, and he'll be the favorite if you want to use him. But again, that's when everyone is going to use him.
For the purposes of our game, I'm going to use Johnny Vegas.
Okay.
He's playing great. I think the layout sets up for him in form. He's not a guy that I'm going to be like clamoring to use, even if this goes badly.
Yeah, I mean, you can just wait to the Canadian Open and wait for a three-peat with Johnny V. I'm going to give Charlie Hoffman another hard look. Not for one and done, just for an outright.
But for the purposes of the big pool where like there's no messing around, there's too many people to like fall behind ever, I'll be probably picking from the top.
What do you have? What are you up to in that pool? You know? I think I'm at like...
He posted, you got a couple 100,000 more. You got like 4 and change.
I'm
in like high 2s.
I've had like 3 top 10 finishes, but that's not paying the bills. I need a winner.
No.
So I really needed Chappell to come through because I don't think a lot of people had Chappell last week. A lot of people took Rahm, and he won, putting me way behind the 8 ball.
Again, yeah, you just...
Good time to burn him. Anytime you can use a winner,
oh yeah,
you use them, it doesn't matter what the field is.
Just like I said, there's a lot of people in the pool, and I know there's the segment things, but like if you lollygag, you could be toast.
Yes.
Toast. It's too big a pool to like not just try to like literally go full throttle the whole time.
Any final thoughts? I will say that if people are looking out for it, the past 2 winners of the Masters have won the event in Qatar this week.
No, it's the weekend of the Super Bowl.
I thought that was this week.
If it is this week, I've seen odds for it, but is it this week?
I thought this was the week.
Then you're right. It's the Dubai Desert Classic.
Yeah, Dubai Desert Classic.
Everyone's there. I'm seeing Rory 5, Sergio 8, Henrik 10, Tommy, Fitz, Gracie.
Yeah, so this is the week. Well, watch out for the winner of that event. If it's some like middle-tier Euro, you might want to go run on them and bet them to win the Masters right away.
Like if Bernd Wiesberger wins this event, I'm going to drop it all, man.
Who is it? Perez is in this one, too.
What if like Poulter wins? Would you still bet him?
Yeah, probably
like
not.
There's some people...
Fortunately, Poulter's not going to win, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Dylan Fratelli will win.
But like, I feel like people will be angry if like Peters wins because a lot of like people don't like him, and then they'll be like,
people don't like Peters?
I don't know. I think he's over or incapable of winning a tournament like the Masters at the moment in his career. But he was great. He had a 3-round lead last week. I don't know. Rory looks so good, even though there were some hiccups.
So good he didn't win.
I know. Well, Fleet was back 9 was insane.
Listen, I have my Rory at the U.S. Open. I have it up at 41-1. Teased with Jags money line against the Steelers, and I'm just going to sit on that for a while. See how it goes. I just hope it's not windy that week. Because as soon as the wind came in on the weekend, Rory started...
Notice that. Fleetwood, they were given 7-8-1 Sunday morning.
Probably should have bet it.
Missed it. Didn't see it.
Did you like the Euro Tour coverage compared to the PGA coverage?
But they'll do that for the Hong Song Open. I'm just saying they go all out every week. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Do you like their not talking part of it, where they just let the sound come in?
I got the whole, even the accents, at least like they suck me right in too, from Sky Sports or wherever they're pulling their feeds from.
Well, I don't know what the coverage is going to be like this week. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Careerbuilder, where they weren't at courses. I don't know how much coverage we're going to see from the North course. They'll have cameras on Tiger.
They're still on a strike?
I don't know. Maybe.
So that's part of the strategy of the strike, right? Tiger's
coming back.
Like Tiger is
This
their
is a big
leverage.
week for anyone who is involved with golf. This is going to be a week where people pay attention to what's going on. That's why we spent 20 minutes talking about Tiger. That's what people were coming for. Anyone who doesn't watch the show on a regular basis.
Influx of contests. I saw that contest you mentioned you thought they would add this week. They added. Did they not?
I was hoping DraftKings would add a millionaire maker. They did not, unless I've missed it.
No, I don't think they. But isn't the window a little short? Usually the millies are out like for a while. They do a lot of satellites.
True.
Like you can't just pop a millie.
Pop a millie. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there is the Drive to the Green, $100K for first prize on DraftKings, $4 entries back. Like, that's a good tournament. $100K is no joke.
No.
Like the Club Pro this week, $50K for first, $300,000 prize pool. The Dogleg, $25K for first. Like, there are big events here this week, and I think they'll all fill. At least I hope they all fill, because all people do is complain, like, oh, you got to give us bigger contests, or they're going to fill. So when this one doesn't fill with Tiger back,
people complain a lot.
People just love to complain.
I see it. I don't know. Some of it's funny, though.
I agree. Some of it is pretty funny.
Some of it's funny.
But some of it's just like, all right, man, we get it. You don't like it. Shut up.
Yeah. But like something you're part of the family, so you don't want to like some of those tweets, even though they make you laugh sometimes. I don't know.
I don't care. They don't care what the hell I do. As long as I provide quality content and do a lot of it, they don't really give a shit what I'm up to.
Hopefully this falls into that.
Yes, I would hope so as well. Any final thoughts?
No, and I'm going to leave here upset about something, but Tiger's back. It's awesome. Like, make the cut. Right?
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy playing with him on Saturday, but hopefully he makes the cut.
It'd be funny if it was one guy I didn't bring up. Played well last week. Lucas Glover.
Saw him at an 80.
The glove.
Bigger numbers?
I saw him at 100, but that could be changed right now as we've...
No.
Golf odds change a lot for the first, 3 hours.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I noticed last week a lot of the guys sometimes bump. So...
I just checked in on my messages. I'll have Kenny Kim on the show, breaking down. We were talking about Kenny earlier in the show.
Awesome.
He'll be on the DraftKings show tomorrow.
Beautiful. He's got
breaking down the field.
All those stats that we stole from him.
Well, I came up with some of my own.
No, I know, but I saw his 2 key points, and I'm happy he brought them here today. And he'll bring them to your other show.
Yes, although I've already said them. I did link him in my column, so we'll see how it goes. Last time he was on, we got delayed for 3 minutes because we both had to go smoke. It's pretty awesome. Kenny and I are very much on the same page.
Love Kenny.
So that will be coming up on Tuesday. If you go to the DK Live app, there's going to be a ton of Tiger stuff up during the week, and I'm going to try to come back, and I might even do a Wednesday live chat. See if this one is big enough. If there's enough interest for that, just leave a comment, give a like, all that fun stuff, and say, hey, live chat would be kind of fun. I don't know if we have the capability of doing it yet, or we know we have the capability. I just don't know how to do it. But if we can, that might be interesting. Because it's a no football week, right? Maybe I'll do 3 golf shows this week.
Him winning would be amazing. Right?
It'd be like the PGA Tour winning the Power.
Great analogy. Perfect. I can't top that. But him just making the cut would be great. And then he also would get to fill those early Golf Channel hours before we go to network, which I would love because it's not fit like it's Tiger.
Golf Channel would love it too.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then
him and Charlie Hoffman
and then he
can compete.
He gets to finish his round on network, but we're not consumed with him leaders are out.
We get the lead in of the college basketball game with the pre here's what's been happening this morning. Tiger Woods is on the course.
I forgot about that.
He's jumped from T60 to T17.
I know I'm not the only one who literally at 2 o'clock is checking the pace of that college basketball game. Just to make sure it's on a good pace, because sometimes they go.
Well, what is also not fun, and we haven't really experienced it so far this season, is that stupid gap of a half hour between Golf Channel and the coverage. Tiger's got... if Tiger makes the cut, he's probably going to be on the course in that period.
And I know that's very annoying, but none of the events this year have had me care enough about
that half
hour.
But this is one where people get pissed over it.
Fumes.
Yeah. Anyway, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. You can follow Geoff on Twitter at gfienberg17. You can follow me at the PME on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That is where the cheat sheet will rest, up on Facebook. Remember to become a member at fantasynational.com if you want to dig in to all the stats, build your own custom models, generate your own DFS lineups. It's all up there. If you are a member, check out the weekly trial. It's not expensive. Just see if it's something that you might want to be a part of. I love it. I know the people out there are too. You can subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio versions wherever you can download podcasts, the video version up on the DraftKings YouTube page. Uncut, uncensored, on demand, completely free whenever you want it. I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck. Enjoy the return of Tiger. I'll see you next time.